Hello friends. Have you ever watched two fire signs fall in love? Imagine a blazing sunset over a canyon, intense, unforgettable, and maybe just a little dangerous. That's the kind of energy you get when an Aries man meets a Leo woman. Sparks? Absolutely. Flames? Oh, without a doubt. But can these flames keep burning, or do they risk setting the whole forest on fire? Let's explore the electrifying, chaotic, yet mesmerizing compatibility of Aries man and Leo woman, not just in love, but in friendship, marriage, business, and even the steamy world of intimacy. Buckle up, because this cosmic pairing isn't for the faint of heart. The love story, a match made in fire. When an Aries man and a Leo woman meet, it's not just chemistry, it's combustion. You can almost hear the soundtrack swell when they lock eyes, like the beginning of an epic romance film. He strides in with fearless ambition, fueled by Mars, the planet of war and desire. She glows with magnetic warmth, ruled by the sun itself, a celestial spotlight that never dims. These two don't get to know each other. They recognize each other, instantly, deeply, and without hesitation. It's as if their souls already know the choreography. And it always starts the same way, fast, hot, and utterly irresistible. Their shared fire element makes them speak the same emotional language, one that burns with intensity, pride, and a deep need to feel alive in love. Aries, the archetypal warrior, thrives on pursuit. He wants challenge, a chase, something worthy of conquest. Leo, on the other hand, is the empress of admiration. She doesn't chase, she attracts. She wants to be pursued, cherished, and celebrated. So when Aries comes charging in with bold declarations and spontaneous gestures, Leo is instantly intrigued. It flatters her royal sensibilities. And when Leo responds with confident charm, regal beauty, and unwavering self-worth, Aries is hooked. She doesn't fall at his feet, and that's exactly what pulls him closer. But love between fire signs isn't without sparks that burn. Both Aries and Leo are natural-born leaders. Aries leads through action and speed. Leo leads through presence and pride. At first, their differences feel thrilling. Aries lights the match, and Leo turns it into a flame that dances. But soon, ego enters the room. Aries begins to grow impatient if things don't move fast enough. Leo becomes cold if her emotional needs, mainly, admiration and loyalty, are not met with full devotion. Aries wants freedom and passion. Leo wants attention and reverence. He craves the adrenaline of newness. She craves the security of being seen, and seen often. This is where the real work begins. Because love that starts with fire needs fuel to keep burning, and not all fuel is emotional drama. When both signs learn to mature emotionally, they unlock a love that's incredibly rare. Aries inspires Leo to take more risks, to break out of routine, to be brave even when it's scary. Leo grounds Aries, helping him turn wild ambition into actual legacy. Together, they become a dream team, passionate, loyal, and undeniably magnetic. They support each other's wins, nurse each other's wounds, and hype each other like nobody else. But when things go wrong, and let's be real, they will, the fights are big, loud, and dramatic. Aries throws words like daggers, sharp and unfiltered. Leo's pride gets wounded, and when that happens, she retreats, not to cry, but to punish. She'll make Aries feel the weight of her silence. And Aries, who thrives on immediate action, might feel lost in that space. The worst-case scenario? They let the fire burn the bridge between them instead of warming the road forward. To keep this from happening, both need to step off their pedestals from time to time. Aries must learn the art of softness, not just bold moves, but gentle reassurances. A compliment a day keeps the Leo sulking away. He should tell her she's stunning even when she's mad. He should remind her she's his queen, even when he's the one feeling challenged. For Leo, the lesson lies in surrendering a little control. Aries doesn't want to be tamed, he wants to be trusted. Giving him space to lead, to act on instinct, actually brings him closer, not farther. And when she praises his courage instead of critiquing his recklessness, Aries becomes a better version of himself. What makes this love story so compelling isn't just the heat, it's the growth. These two signs don't just fall in love, they fight for it. They grow through fire. They push each other to be bigger, better, braver. They don't settle for lukewarm. They'd rather argue passionately than drift into emotional indifference. And that's a rare thing in a world that often forgets how much effort real love takes. When Aries and Leo commit, they create a partnership that dazzles. The Aries man brings momentum, determination, and daring vision. The Leo woman brings loyalty, charisma, and radiant warmth. They inspire awe, not just because of how they look together, but because of how deeply they believe in each other. This love can feel like a myth, something out of legends. But when nurtured, it's also deeply human, full of vulnerability, healing, and fierce devotion. So yes, it can be overwhelming. It can be dramatic. But it can also be everything. Because when fire meets fire, and both flames choose to rise together instead of consuming each other, they don't just make heat. They make light. Sex and intimacy, explosive chemistry or a power struggle. Imagine striking a match in a room full of fireworks. That's the energy of sex and intimacy between an Aries man and a Leo woman, bold, beautiful, and very easy to mishandle if not approached with care. This isn't your typical romance where everything unfolds gently and predictably. No, this is passion written in capital letters, amplified by two signs who are ruled by fire and refuse to settle for anything lukewarm. Aries, ruled by Mars, the planet of desire, conquest, and raw physicality, charges into intimacy like it's a battlefield. Leo, ruled by the Sun, regal, proud, and radiant, expects to be adored, not merely touched. And when these two collide under the sheets, it's nothing short of cinematic. The Aries man is naturally assertive, driven by instinct and immediacy. He wants passion that feels primal, urgent, and alive. For him, sex isn't just physical, it's proof of chemistry, attraction, and dominance. He's not into hesitation, he thrives on spontaneity and intense connection. He wants to be the hero, the one who awakens his partner's deepest desires. And if she matches his energy, he's all in, willing to explore and elevate the moment until it feels absolutely unforgettable. The Leo woman, however, approaches intimacy like it's an art form. She wants to be adored before she's touched, desired with intention, and elevated through every sensual gesture. She needs foreplay that begins hours before the lights go out, compliments that feed her pride, small luxuries that affirm her worth, and a partner who truly sees her, not just her body. For her, sex is both a performance and a privilege. She'll give her full passion, but only to someone who's earned it through admiration and emotional presence. She doesn't just want attention, she wants reverence. And this is where things get very interesting. When the Aries man understands the importance of slowing down, of letting the emotional tension build before acting on physical impulse, he unlocks a deeper connection with Leo. She becomes playful, radiant, generous, she turns the bedroom into her kingdom, and she invites him in as her equal, not her subject. Likewise, when the Leo woman allows Aries to take the lead occasionally, to guide the moment with his unfiltered enthusiasm and confident touch, she finds herself exhilarated by his directness and raw masculinity. Together, they discover a rhythm that blends fire and finesse, instinct and elegance. But this dynamic can shift quickly, and not always for the better. Because under all that passion lies one dangerous factor, ego. Aries, in his desire to be the best, may grow impatient if Leo needs more time to warm up emotionally. He might misinterpret her need for romance as unnecessary drama. Leo, on the other hand, might withdraw her affection if she feels Aries is rushing, being selfish, or forgetting her emotional needs. To her, being taken for granted is worse than being rejected. And when either of them feels unappreciated, unseen, or dominated, the bedroom turns from a sanctuary into a standoff. Resentment simmers. Walls go up. And the physical spark that once seemed invincible flickers, not because the attraction fades, but because the recognition does. That's why the secret to sustaining their intimate chemistry isn't just more passion, it's mutual awareness. Aries must understand that Leo doesn't just want to be desired, she wants to be celebrated. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered word should affirm her uniqueness. She wants to feel like she's not just part of the moment, she is the moment. And Leo, in turn, must see that Aries gives his heart through his actions. If he's being bold, if he's showing up with hunger and excitement, it means he's invested. His language of love isn't always verbal, it's physical, immediate, and all-consuming. When they sync on this level, when Leo feels cherished and Aries feels wanted, they become a powerhouse couple with unmatched sexual synergy. Their intimacy isn't routine. It's a shared adventure, a place where they can be wild, expressive, and deeply connected. They challenge each other to grow, not just in the bedroom, but in how they give and receive love overall. But none of this works if either one treats pleasure like a trophy to win or a role to perform. This connection only thrives when they remember that intimacy is co-created, not competed for. It's a dance of equals, where power is shared and passion is given freely, not forced. In the end, Aries and Leo have what most couples dream of: undeniable attraction, emotional magnetism, and the ability to set each other ablaze. But it's up to them whether that blaze becomes a guiding light or a destructive inferno. Handled with care, their physical connection becomes something more, a sacred fire that never stops burning. Marriage, the royal couple or the royal rumble. When an Aries man and a Leo woman walk down the aisle, it's not just a wedding, it's a coronation. Two fire signs joining forces in marriage is like watching two stars collide and form a new galaxy. It's bold, intense, ambitious, and filled with the kind of glamour and heat that makes people stop and stare. Aries brings fearless determination, a pioneering spirit, and an infectious hunger for adventure. Leo brings vision, loyalty, regal poise, and a natural flair for turning life into a grand, ongoing celebration. Together, they don't just build a marriage, they build an empire. But let's be clear, while this union has all the makings of a power couple, it also comes with equally powerful challenges. These two signs are born leaders, strong-willed, highly independent, and fiercely proud. Aries doesn't follow, he blazes trails. Leo doesn't chase, she reigns. So when disagreements arise, and they will, neither is inclined to back down quietly. Aries reacts fast, sometimes too fast, throwing verbal jabs without fully considering the emotional aftermath. Leo, on the other hand, internalizes wounds, holds her head high, and might retaliate not with volume, but with calculated silence or majestic coldness. Still, if they learn to navigate their egos instead of letting them clash, the marriage becomes unstoppable. Aries teaches Leo the beauty of spontaneity, how to leap without overanalyzing, how to fight for goals with relentless passion. Leo teaches Aries the art of self-respect, of loyalty, and of turning passion into purpose. Their energies, while intense, are ultimately complementary. Aries ignites, Leo sustains. He brings the fire to start things. She brings the royalty to see it through with elegance and pride. However, their needs in marriage must be understood and actively addressed. Aries thrives on movement, progress, and challenge. If he begins to feel trapped by routine or expectations, he may become restless or withdrawn, searching for excitement outside the relationship. Leo, on the other hand, seeks stability, devotion, and consistent admiration. She wants a marriage that feels like a sacred union, not a pit stop on the way to something more thrilling. If she feels overlooked or undervalued, she may close off emotionally, withdrawing her warmth and affection until the Aries partner steps up. Communication here is key, and not just surface-level check-ins. They need honest, vulnerable conversations about their fears, goals, and emotional rhythms. Aries has to understand that intensity without follow-through doesn't cut it in marriage. Starting a romantic fire is easy, keeping it burning takes patience and care. Leo has to recognize that admiration must go both ways. Aries also needs to be acknowledged for his drive, his courage, and his unique way of showing love, which may not always come in poetic words, but often in action. Decision-making in this marriage is another battlefield. Both like to take the lead, and both believe they know what's best. Whether it's choosing where to live, how to raise kids, or even what to order for dinner, compromises don't come naturally. But when they choose collaboration over competition, they become a team others envy. Aries brings urgency and momentum, Leo brings strategy and pride. They balance each other in a way that turns chaos into creation, sparks into structure. One of the most beautiful aspects of this marriage is its potential for shared ambition. This isn't the kind of couple that fades quietly into domestic obscurity. No, this duo builds businesses together, creates family legacies, travels boldly, and hosts with flair. Their home is likely to be filled with laughter, dramatic stories, and an unspoken agreement that life is meant to be lived fully. They push each other, challenge each other, and, when aligned, elevate each other. But none of this works without humility. That's the deal breaker. Aries needs to recognize when his aggression turns to insensitivity. Leo must realize when her pride turns into emotional distance. Both need to master the art of the apology, not because one is right and the other is wrong, but because love demands peace over ego. A simple, "I'm sorry," from either side can diffuse even the most heated showdown and lead to deeper trust and intimacy. Their fights can be loud, passionate, and unforgettable, but so can their reconciliations. They're the type of couple who argue over breakfast and make up like it's a scene from a romantic film by dinner. It's not always smooth, but it's never stale. And at the heart of it, there's deep respect, even in the middle of the storm. This marriage, when nurtured, becomes a fortress of mutual admiration, ambition, and adventure. It's not the calmest ride, but it's one that writes legends. They are the couple who builds palaces from conflict, who dances in the fire instead of running from it. Friendship, the dynamic duo. When an Aries man and a Leo woman become friends, the universe doesn't whisper, it roars. Their bond is electric, fast-paced, and full of that rare, magnetic chemistry that makes everyone around them take notice. This isn't a quiet, casual friendship built on small talk and safe plans. No, this is a ride or die, all gas no brakes kind of connection. Aries brings the fire of spontaneity, the boldness to try something wild without a second thought. Leo brings the warmth of loyalty, the grace of leadership, and just enough flair to make every moment feel like an occasion. Together, they're the human version of a highlight reel, high energy, high volume, and high expectations. What makes this friendship so powerful is the shared fire energy that fuels them both. They understand each other in ways others can't. Aries doesn't need to explain his impulsive need for excitement, Leo gets it. Leo doesn't have to justify her love of attention and grandeur, Aries respects it. These two operate on a similar frequency, they want to live big, laugh loud, and leave a mark wherever they go. When they link up, even the most ordinary day can turn into a spontaneous adventure or a glamorous escapade. Whether it's skydiving on a whim or throwing an impromptu dinner party, neither one is afraid to say yes to life. Aries brings the daring. He's the friend who says, "Let's do it now," and actually means it. He pulls Leo out of her comfort zone, encouraging her to take risks, break routines, and go after what she wants with unapologetic force. His courage is infectious. Leo, on the other hand, brings stability to Aries' wild energy. She's the one who adds beauty, thought, and intention to the chaos. When Aries rushes into something with reckless abandon, Leo helps him elevate it. "Sure, we'll do it. But let's make it iconic." They're a balance of raw power and polished elegance. And it's not just about fun and games. Aries and Leo support each other through the hard stuff, too. Aries is fiercely protective and will stand up for his Leo friend no matter what. Leo, in return, is unshakably loyal. She'll hype him up when he's down, remind him of his greatness when he forgets, and never let him settle for less than he deserves. Their friendship is built on mutual admiration, not just for what they do, but for who they are. Still, every fire has its flare-ups. And this friendship is no exception. Both Aries and Leo have strong personalities, big opinions, and a natural tendency to lead. If they're not careful, what starts as playful banter can turn into a silent standoff. Aries might get frustrated if Leo takes too long to decide or insists on things being done her way. Leo might get annoyed if Aries dismisses her ideas or charges ahead without considering her input. Their egos, while part of their charm, can also be the very thing that causes tension. That's why emotional intelligence is the glue that keeps this friendship thriving. They need to learn the fine art of taking turns, not just in conversation, but in direction. Aries should remember that Leo's desire for recognition isn't vanity, it's her love language. A little praise goes a long way. Leo, in turn, should remember that Aries' bluntness isn't an attack, it's just how he communicates passion. Giving him space to be unfiltered actually creates a deeper sense of trust. Another key to keeping the bond strong. Respect each other's lanes. Aries may want to crash through the door. Leo might want to make an entrance. And that's okay. Let Aries be the spark and Leo be the spotlight, there's room for both. When they stop trying to outshine each other and start shining with each other, their connection becomes unstoppable. At its best, this friendship is a beautiful fire, constantly moving, constantly warm, and endlessly inspiring. They remind each other not just to dream, but to go for it. They take selfies on mountaintops, start projects they don't always finish, and laugh until they cry over inside jokes no one else understands. Their friendship is the kind that burns bright for decades, filled with shared victories, epic memories, and a constant flow of "remember when?" So are they superheroes? Maybe. But more than that, they're each other's biggest fans, most honest critics, and lifelong co-stars in a friendship that feels like the best kind of adventure. Just remember the golden rule: don't compete, collaborate. You're both stars. Just in different constellations. Business compatibility, risk plus vision equals boom or bust. When an Aries man and a Leo woman walk into a boardroom together, you can practically feel the temperature rise. This isn't your average business duo, it's a meeting of bold minds, unshakable confidence, and sky-high ambition. Aries enters like a spark plug, ready to ignite something new before the coffee's even poured. Leo arrives with poise and presence, already imagining the logo, the legacy, and the press release announcing their empire. Together, they're capable of building something extraordinary, a business that's not just successful, but unforgettable. But only if they figure out how to harness all that firepower without burning the whole operation down. The Aries man is the initiator. He's not afraid to pitch a crazy idea, pull the trigger on a risky move, or disrupt an entire market with pure guts. He's the one saying, "Let's launch now and figure it out as we go." His strength lies in momentum. He acts fast, learns through failure, and thrives under pressure. If a project needs bold energy to get off the ground, he's the one you want at the front of the line, cutting through red tape and turning obstacles into challenges to crush. The Leo woman, on the other hand, brings the vision. She doesn't just want to make noise, she wants to make impact. Her strength lies in branding, leadership, and long-term influence. She understands how to craft a narrative, how to lead a team with grace and power, and how to turn a spark into a full-blown empire. Leo doesn't move as quickly as Aries, but when she does, it's deliberate, strategic, and stunning. She believes in value, quality, and presentation. If Aries is the pitch, Leo is the packaging, and without both, the sale doesn't happen. When these two share the same vision, it's business magic. Aries gets things started, keeps the momentum going, and pushes through doubt with sheer willpower. Leo fine-tunes the direction, builds the culture, and makes sure the brand carries lasting power. Aries will break through doors, Leo will make sure the world cares about what's behind them. It's a natural flow when roles are respected, the initiator and the visionary, working in sync. Aries may light the fuse, but Leo controls the fireworks. But here's where it can all go sideways. Aries and Leo both have strong leadership instincts. Aries wants autonomy. Leo wants authority. Aries thinks speed is success. Leo believes presentation is power. If they're not careful, they can end up in a silent tug-of-war, both pulling in different directions, both convinced their approach is the right one. Aries may grow impatient with Leo's insistence on details, feeling slowed down by her perfectionism. Leo might get irritated with Aries' impulsiveness, feeling like his "go now, think later" approach lacks polish and purpose. And since both are prideful, deeply, stubbornly so, compromise doesn't come easily. Aries may bulldoze ahead without consulting Leo. Leo may shut down communication if she feels her leadership isn't respected. Meetings can turn into power plays. Strategies can turn into ego battles. And before they know it, what could have been a $1 million idea gets stuck in the mud of miscommunication. The solution? Clear boundaries. Defined roles. And mutual respect that isn't just talked about, but practiced. For this partnership to thrive, Aries must recognize Leo's value in refinement and direction. She sees the big picture and knows how to sustain momentum after the initial launch hype fades. Leo, meanwhile, has to trust Aries' gut, even when it feels reckless. His instincts are often right, and his fearless action can create opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise. When they stop fighting over who gets the credit and start focusing on what they can build together, the results are explosive, in the best way. Their partnership works best when Aries leads the charge on bold initiatives, launching new products, breaking into markets, shaking things up. Leo shines when she handles the brand, the messaging, the leadership dynamics, and the legacy planning. Aries lives in the now. Leo builds for tomorrow. And when they align those timelines, the business becomes a rocket ship with its destination set to iconic. Let's not forget, both Aries and Leo are incredibly charismatic. They don't just work behind the scenes, they own the spotlight. Whether they're pitching to investors, leading a team, or speaking on stage, they radiate confidence. Aries brings the punch, Leo brings the polish. They turn heads, command attention, and naturally inspire others to believe in their mission. Employees follow them. Clients trust them. And the public remembers them. Final verdict: can Aries man and Leo woman truly work? Short answer: yes, but only if they learn how to dance with fire, not fight it. This couple is intense, passionate, and full of potential. Their relationship is like a wildfire, it can destroy, or it can cleanse and renew. They're both born leaders, both full of heart, and both capable of creating something legendary together. They just need to remember, the brightest flames need balance, or they'll burn out. So, are Aries and Leo soulmates or just star-crossed lovers? That's up to them, and a little cosmic patience.